An inspector is arriving at base with a dog on the brink of death.
We had a call from Housing New Zealand. They told us there was a dog abandoned in the property. So I went to the property and this little guy was locked in a storage room.
Vicky suspects the crossbreed dog has been locked up without food or water for about a week.
To be honest, I cried when I saw this guy when I opened the door, and he was pretty lifeless and but very trusting, just trying to come towards me with his tail wagging. It's the worst case I've ever seen. He's just so infected and he's emaciated.
He's weak with hunger and appears to be suffering from a severe and painful skin disease.
Hey, Betty.
Hi. Where have you found this one?
Abandoned in a property in Mangaree.
So is it a stray, or do you think you have an owner?
No, I'm going to search for the owner.
Okay. It's almost certainly Demodex, but I'll scrape him just to be sure.
Demodex mange can be deadly without treatment, as it damages the immune system. The dog must have been suffering for many weeks, and the SPCA suspects he's been left to die alone in the storage room.
I mean, I just don't know why they didn't call us for help. You know, instead of just lock it in a room with no food or water. I mean, it's criminal, man. It's just... There's no excuse for that. None at all. Hey, baby. So what's the verdict, boss?
Yeah, it's definitely Demodex. There's plenty of them there. With the mange, especially with Demodex, they get secondary bacterial infections, which is what causes all the scabbing. And this is what makes them really sick. The skin just thickens up, inflames, it rolls in on the eyes. So the eyelashes actually start rubbing on the eyeballs, and that's why they go mucky. So we'll have to medicate those as well. These holes in him, obviously the infection's got that deep that he's developed small abscesses under the skin and they've just burst through. He's got little holes everywhere. With this level of infection, he'll be losing proteins. He'll probably be anemic. Complete cures are not easy at all. Unfortunately, even if we get him back into shape, he's unlikely ever to be able to be rehomed.
We're going to give it our best shot, aren't we?
We're going to see what happens.
He's almost beyond hope, but Vicky is determined to save him.
I don't want to have to put him to sleep right now. I mean, if he was in a lot of distress, of course I would. But if we can manage it and try and just give him a little bit of life back, yeah. He deserves a go, you know.
It's going to take a miracle to save this dog. Staff are naming him Job after the biblical character, who, against all odds, never lost faith. The sad plight of Job, the dog left for dead, has touched the hearts of animal lovers. But after a month at the SPCA, there has been a miracle. Against all odds, Job is making an incredible recovery.
Every week he's getting at least one bath. It depends a lot on how itchy he is. It's a very itchy problem, the mite, because it burrows in under the skin. So it's like as if you had hives or really bad dermatitis or something like that. He's also getting weekly injections of an anti-parasitic drug just to try and kill the mites that are burrowed in under the skin. And every day he is receiving antibiotics as well as eye medication. Good boy, come on, jump hill. Good boy, jump hill.
After 4 weeks of treatment for malnutrition and mange, his visible wounds are slowly healing.
Good boy, you're not used to being outside, are ya? Because of the condition of his skin, his immunity's been lower than if he'd had no skin problems, so we haven't wanted to expose him to too many potential nasties that are out in the environment.
But Job is still vulnerable, and his recovery is far from complete. Job's case is receiving a lot of attention, and the public has dug deep to help him.
All this stuff is gifts that people have sent in for Job. We've been overwhelmed by the generosity of the public.
Through donations of more than $10,000, the SPCA is able to pay for Job's ongoing treatment.
You know, the publicity has been good to let the public know that there are actually animals that are treated this badly. He was near death when I found him, and I think a lot of other dogs might have just given up, but I don't think he wanted to. He never stops wagging his tail. It's just... That's what gets me, I think, is that he keeps wagging his tail, no matter what.
The other good news is that Vicky may have found who was responsible for Job.
We've located the owner or the person in charge of Job, and we're taking the matter to the courts.
Job's case is receiving a lot of attention and the public has dug deep to help him.
All this stuff is gifts that people have sent in for Job. We've been overwhelmed by the generosity of the public.
Through donations of more than $10,000, the SPCA is able to pay for Job's ongoing treatment.
You know, the publicity has been good to let the public know that there are actually animals that are treated this badly. He was near death when I found him, and I think a lot of other dogs might have just given up, but I don't think he wanted to. He never stops wagging his tail. It's just, that's what gets me, I think, is that he keeps wagging his tail, no matter what.
The other good news is that Vicky may have found who was responsible for Job.
We've located the owner or the person in charge of Job, and we're taking the matter to the courts.
On a lifestyle property south of Auckland, a happy, healthy dog is running free. Believe it or not, it's Job. And Vicky has come to check his progress.
Good boy. He obviously really recognises you. He's a very happy boy, isn't he?
Looks great, eh? Wouldn't even know it was him, the same one.
I mentioned to the SPCA that I wanted to be involved with Job because it's very humbling that a dog would be so forgiving. He's lots of fun. If he was a human, his personality would just fill a room. And I think that's probably how he was able to survive. He would have held on to every last breath. And I think a dog that didn't have that kind of spirit wouldn't have lasted at all.
Job is healing physically, but before he is rehomed, he has some behavioural issues to overcome.
He's going to have some dog training. He's got a couple of bad habits.
He is about to begin obedience training to teach him some better manners. For the past 2 weeks, an animal trainer has been working to resolve Job's behavioural problems.
He had a hard start, so everybody treated him wonderfully well. So he says, I'm important, and if I'm important, you can't be. You have to get the dog adjusted into sort of thinking, well, actually, I'm only the dog again, you know?
Jan's sister Lindley is helping with the foster care of Job.
Job's become a lot calmer since the training, actually. He knows when it's training time, he calms right down, so it's quite a marked difference.
It's a good boy. It's good.
There has been a huge improvement in Job's behaviour.
Normally by now he would be barking at them.
That's really what we're looking for, that he can be around other animals, not doing stuff, just being Job, as opposed to Job in charge.
But here comes the acid test, as Lindley takes the lead.
Let's give a closer look at Harry. I don't think he's ever been this close to a goat before him not being barking.
His idea last week was that he should eat Harry through the fence.
Job has once again proved what a remarkable dog he is and can finally be put up for adoption.
Good boy.
Foster parent Lindley couldn't part with Job, so she has given him a permanent home. And today they have come to see his rescuer, Vicky.
We got Job and Lizzie at the same time, and they were both foster dogs then. And Lizzie we've come to adopt as well, the same as Job. And Lizzie, when we first got her, was very, very shy and very scared of everything. But once she met Job, I think he brought her out of her shell a little bit.
And it looks like Job is still performing wonders.
What a great team, eh? The prosecution hasn't been resolved as yet. The defendant has left the country, so there's a border alert in place. So when he comes back, he'll be arrested on entry. Job will always be special to me. Basically, he's made a huge impact on my life. Just that little lifeless dog that was just about dead, and just his fight to survive, he made it happen.